Good evening, everybody. Let's get that in place. I was having trouble sitting down and focusing on some stuff I was working on in private. You don't need to worry about what that is. So I figured I would pop open some live, just hop on, just talk until I feel like I can sit and focus more efficiently, or until I'm done working on that other thing I've got open. I don't intend to go on for too long. And if we're lucky, by the end of the night I should have someone decided to perform a little chat terrorism on. So let's get chat open on the other monitor. And I'll just talk for a while. Oh, hang on, let me get comfortable again. Yeah, there we go. Move this over to the other monitor. Man, having two monitors is great. You don't really consider the utility of having two whole monitors until you really get into it. I apologize for the jar being gone, by the way. I didn't want to keep last month's jar up, or especially at the beginning of the season, where, you know, gotta prep that jar tomorrow. So lately, I've overcome the big one. You know the big one. It's the disease sensation that's sweeping every nation right now. And I survived. I'm surprised I survived. I thought I was going to die. You ever think that? You ever get sick and you think, oh, I'm going to die. This is gonna kill me. I think that a lot. Like, every time I get some sort of illness, that's the first thing that enters my mind. Like, it just invades, like a dark spirit in Dark Souls. You guys ever play Dark Souls, actually? That's some good shit. Like, it takes a little while to get used to Dark Souls, but once you find a, playstyle that, meshes well with you, oh boy, you know? That's something people don't really talk about when it comes to Dark Souls, actually. Just the fact that you can really just sit down in that game. Just sit down, stand in there. Play around with the controls. Get used to it, and then once you find a playstyle that works for you, you can go far. You can go to the end of the game any way you play. And that's something really cool. Oh, sorry. I had to lean away. My dinner was starting to come back up a bit. I have time, plenty of time actually, before the cult sends someone to put me to bed. It's been a good experience, I think. I'm glad that you guys on Twitter voted to encourage me to answer truthfully. I know that just doing this because the manager signed with them to, you know, get help containing me, because the Vatican pulled out of the operation a good while ago now. And I've been taking that well, but the manager, oh, he's been taking that bad. Like, after he signed the deal and he called me up and he said, don't you trust that bitch who was running that cult. Don't you trust her. She's fucked up and evil and crazy. You shouldn't trust her. And I was like, all right. And then today I get up, they sent someone to come pick me up. So I go with them. They take me over to their fun little base. And I get to, talk to the cult leader, and they explain the entire deal. And she's pretty, she's nice. Don't get why the manager thinks I shouldn't trust her. And the, I want to say middle-aged lady. Middle-aged is probably accurate. Said to me, if you need anything in the world, just come talk to me, we'll sort it out, help you feel better. And I was like, wow, it's better than what the manager does for me. Like, doesn't even have a psychiatrist on stat, just to so of course now I in future matters, there's going to be an obvious bias on my part, because I'll be more inclined to trust whoever's trying to actually help me. And that's nice. Sorry for the sniffle. I still got a little bit of that gamer mucus up in there, you know? So let's see. Oh yeah, the piece I'm working on. I'll talk about that a little. It's just a little some. I won't get into specifics because it's kind of cringe. But right now is my favorite part of the piece, which is adding the lines to one of those vertical lined sweaters. You know, the kind that I'm wearing right now. That's the good shit. Like, it's visually interesting. Usually they're made of a very comfy fabric. It's just a good time all around. Things have been crazy ever since they let me move out into this little isolated outpost. Sometimes I wonder if I made the right decision asking to come out here. And then I remember it's not really my place to think. It's supposed to be my place to entertain, but no one really shows up, and that's alright. Eventually, some people who like my content are going to find my content, and they're going to start showing up regularly. I'm just beginning to shine, like the great philosopher Pixie Terry once said. But until I get to the point where I'm radiant and people are crying my name from the seats, I guess I'm just going to have to keep being a small timer. And that's alright. There's nothing wrong with being small time. Just means that whatever community I do build up is going to be a lot closer than the big, blowjob Andes out there. And maybe that's better than nothing. Let's see. Persona Anniversary adds 2 more announcements. Let's give this a quick, skim. It's on Game Rant. Persona's Japanese 25th anniversary website has quietly added 2 new announcements to its timeline, sparking speculation of new games. Let's see, recent confirmation of the return of the annual Persona Super Live concert for later this year. That's exciting. That's it, just 2 more announcements. Better be a Shin Megami Tensei if port. That'd be pogged. I'd pay for that. Something I always kind of enjoyed about the Persona games is how, at least in the earlier ones, especially the earlier ones, they try their best to implement concepts of Jungian psychology. That's something that's very interesting. I recommend you go do your own research on that kind of stuff. You know, reading is pretty fun. Even if you don't have a huge vocabulary, you can't really understand everything. It's still pretty nice to just, you know, go out, do a little reading. You know, if you're a writer, you might want to read a lot because, you know, you read a lot, you take in a lot of media, you gain new ideas or a better understanding of how to, you know, properly or improperly, if you like doing that, use those ideas. And I think that, you know, thinking about how you use ideas is as important as having those ideas. Sometimes you might use an idea wrong, and maybe that wrong use of that idea is gonna turn out, you know, better or more fun than the intended way you're supposed to use those ideas. Or maybe you're going to, you know, use a good idea wrong, and it's like, well, fuck, now what do I do? And maybe you know, watch a movie that has the same idea, and you're like, wow, that's how you use that a little better. And then you find ways to do it that way. And then, you know, that's fun. If inspiration is the name of the game when it comes to creating, there's nothing wrong with going out and watching stuff that inspires you. Because oftentimes, the people who you look up to also had to go and get inspiration. And it's a big, grand old cycle. People create things that they were inspired to create, and then those creations inspire future creators. And I think that's why all art is important. Even if it's not technically impressive, it's still art, and it still could serve to inspire someone in the future. You know, could even just be something like performance art. You know, someone going out doing a solo performance of Hamlet where they're changing costumes all willy-nilly, all sorts of stuff. Like, that's still like a performance of Hamlet, but it's an interesting way to do something like that, and someone might see that and be inspired to do something like that for another play. Or you know, people might read a bad fan fiction that has like one or two good ideas, and they'll see those ideas and they'll say, hey, I want to use those ideas, so they'll find ways to do that. I think creating art in and of itself is a good enough reason to make art. Because sometimes, you know, you never know when eventually someone's going to see what you're making, and they're going to be like, wow, that's cool. I want to make something like that. And, you know, that's a new artist that you just made. You invented that guy. Congratulations, it's an artist. Alright, I realize now I have fucked up somewhere on this piece and I need to backpedal a little. There we go. I'm not putting this on screen because it's embarrassing. You guys don't need to see it. I'll probably peer pressure the manager into posting it, but I'm not going to post it on my account. No, no, no. This is something for me and the people on Pixiv who like this kind of stuff. The nature of taste is really weird and fucked up when you think about it. Like, even just the simple fact that not everyone likes the same stuff. It's wild, it's crazy. Like, you know, you got people who are like me, who are correct and think that Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood kind of sucks. Then you got you know, people who are wrong, and they think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is good just because it follows the manga better. And, you know, that's wild in and of itself. But then you got, you know, people who argue about taste on other things. Like, there's people who still argue about which girl in Evangelion is the best. Like, did you guys forget Misato exists? Come on, get real, get a clue. But like, that's a thing that's been going on for ages, practically forever in internet time now. It's like, fuck, dude, what is it, 2 decades, 3 decades? How old's that goddamn show? But like, it's nuts, it's wild. And the fact that people's taste, you know, differs enough for them to have arguments like that, it's wild. It's crazy. There's a lot of things that are wild and crazy, and I don't think we really talk about, like, just how wild and crazy some stuff is. Like, for example, we figured out how to harvest, like, the power of atoms splitting apart. That's insane. Think about that. We figured out, hey, this is how you make one of the smallest units of matter break apart, and here's how you use that energy. And that's nuts. That's wild. That's like saying, oh yeah, we figured out how to harvest like farts for the good of mankind. It's like, what? Oh, 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 oh. You know, it's wild. It's nuts. What's even more nuts is we have the technology to make that form of power like really healthy. I mean, you can just switch to that and it'll be a lot cleaner than burning fossil fuels or harvesting hydroelectric or wind energy, and it'll be more powerful. But we don't, because there's valid concerns. You know, people are worried, hey, I don't want Chernobyl to happen again. And while that wasn't a fault of the technology itself, that was a fault of the people managing it. And I think worrying about the people managing a new or dangerous technology is a good criticism, because you never know when someone's just not going to do their job well. And even then, that's a talk, you know, here and there for people who are paid to think or who are paid to argue about things. But I don't get paid to think. In fact, I don't really get paid much at all. I just get, you know, I'm put on payroll to sit here and talk to you guys, usually while playing games. Today's different. It's Sunday. You don't play games on a Sunday, at least not on stream. Sunday's Diablo 3 day. Sunday's playing games offline day. You know, I sit down, I watch Kamen Rider, I do whatever I want on Sundays. I think it's easy to get caught up worrying about things all the time. Like, I find myself falling into it a lot. Shit's crazy, shit's wacky. There's a lot to worry about nowadays, and that's just the world we live in. But I also think it's important that you let the people you care about know that you care about them. Because someday, you never know when it's going to happen, but some days the people you care about are just going to be gone. They're going to be there in the dirt. And the embalming fluids you use, you're going to soak into that dirt. They're going to create a nice human form of filth for me to feed on when I find out where they are. And that's not something I want people to have to think about, but it's something you have to think about. Eventually, the things you care about are going to die, and they're going to become pollution, and they're going to be delicious. think it's important to let the people you care about know that you care about them. You know, past the whole they're gonna die someday bit. Because it's just nice. You know that nice feeling that you get when you know someone cares about you? Other people get that when they know people care about them as well. And I think it's important, even if you don't really like other people, to make sure that the people around you can be happy. Because if you want to be happy, sometimes it's a good compromise to make sure that the people around you are also happy. Because if you're happy and the people around you are happy, then you guys are just going to be a little happier together. You know, it's like that saying, misery loves company, but happiness loves company just as much. That's why I like to keep my main content, you know, big fun giggle times. You log in, you sit down, you watch, you have fun, we're laughing. I'm laughing, you're laughing, we're laughing together. We're laughing at each other, we're laughing at the same thing at the same time. And I think that's a fun thing to experience, especially as a social animal. Like, you go in, you want to see someone having fun, being themselves, and it's like, dude, I'm right here. You're seeing me, I'm seeing you, we're seeing each other. Not in that way. You know, don't want to rush a weird, you know, parasocial I'm dating chat type deal. In fact, I would like to avoid a situation like that because that sounds just a little too silly. Like, I'm a silly guy, I'm a goofy guy, but I don't think I want to get that committed to the bit, you know? Alright, here we go. Smooth some lines out. Let's see, yep. Yeah, perfect. It's weird how as like, you know, the poster child for social animals, people like to tear each other down a lot. Like, you'd think that for you know, animal that likes to help other, you know, an animal that likes to exist with other people, you'd think that human beings would like to, you know, be all buddy with each other, you know, help each other out, have a good old time. But sometimes it's just not like that, and it's a little off-putting. But I can't say I blame people for wanting to put each other down. Like, have you seen the people who go to Walmart between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m.? Let me tell you, if I didn't know any better, I would assume that those people who exist inside of a Walmart between midnight and 5 a.m., those people are mutants and freaks. But I have to temper myself, you know, because mutants and freaks don't exactly really exist in the real world. Like, you know, they exist where I am, but they don't exist where you are. I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired and the piece is almost done. I think I'm gonna see who to hand you off to. It was good talk, though. It was a good talk, and I'll see you guys around. Oh, Barry's live. Was that Warframe? That Warframe game seems pretty fun. It sucks that it's 30 gigabytes. Don't feel right about installing it. But, yeah, usual outro. Oh, yeah, tomorrow morning, let me get out the schedule. Tomorrow morning, and I say morning very loosely, you know how it is. Where's the schedule? Yeah. We have our new scheduling scheme ready. So tomorrow we have Jar Prep and Kyuyaku Megami Tensei, and I look forward to it. As you can see, I now have a nice little assignment for every day. I figured that would be a fun little thing to do. So yeah, show up for Jar Prep and Kyuyaku Megami Tensei tomorrow. I'll go get ready for bed. I'll pass you off to someone who I feel you'd be in good hands. Good old Barry Gelatina, friend of the channel. And yeah. Take care of yourself, get something to eat, something to drink. Make sure you have dinner. And I'll see you next time. Let me just real quick. Yeah, let me real quick. Mute music. I'm just preparing the raid. Don't pay me no mind. It's been a wild month so far. It's only gonna get funnier, I think. Anyways, let's get that stream open. Now, of course, before I say the big, finisher line, pass you off to someone, I want to say I'm grateful for everyone who shows up to this. Like, this was a secret stream. I didn't announce this anywhere. And yet someone still came. Someone I recognized from my follower list was in that viewer list. That's exciting. And of course, have a good night. Beat your dick like it owes you 30 grand. Love ya.